All right, welcome back to part 2 of writing linear equations. These are the other two scenarios that you will encounter that you have to write linear equations. So far we did whenever you're given slope and the y-intercept, which you're already really good at, and how to do it when you just have a graph. This time, without the graph, what are we going to do if we're just given 2 points? 2 random points on the line, not necessarily the y-intercept, and we don't know what the graph is. When you have 2 points, you don't have the slope, we're going to use what is called point-slope form. Instead of slope-intercept form, which you guys already know, we're going to use point-slope form. And this is only when you're given 2 points and you don't know the slope or the y-intercept. You just have 2 random points. What point-slope form looks like is this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Just like before, m is still our slope, and y1 and x1 are going to be your points that you're given. All right, so let's practice one. We have, so if I gave you, it'll read like this. Write an equation for a line that passes through, and it'll say like 3, 0, and 6, 3. 6, negative 3. Right, we have 2 points. That's all they're giving you. They're not giving you the slope. They're not giving you the y-intercept. Just these 2 points. Write an equation of the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to start just like we did before, writing out x1, y1, x2, y2. Just like before. Now remember, to find our slope, we have to use which equation? See if you remember. It looks like this. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's going to give us our slope. So we're going to plug our points in that they've given us into our slope equation. Negative 3 minus 0 over 6 minus 3. That's going to equal negative 3 minus 0 is just still going to be negative 3. 6 minus 3 is going to be positive 3. Negative 3 divided by positive 3 is going to be negative 1. All right, so our slope is negative 1. We can put that where the m is in our equation. What else we're going to do, because we know our m, but we also know our y1 and x1, right? We've already got that written down. So now we can just fill in the whole equation. Y equals, y minus y1, which is 0, equals m, which is our slope, which we found, negative 1, times x minus x1, which is 3. Now you can either leave it like that or you can simplify it, because you know y minus 0 will just be y, right? And anything by negative 1 you can just write negative. Either one I'll accept. So you just find your slope and then you plug your points in. We'll do one more example just so you can see. I'll leave that there. Okay, if my points are 2, 1, and 4, 6. These are my 2 points. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. We're going to do x1, y1, x2, y2. We're going to put it into our slope form. y2 minus y1. So we're going to do 6 minus 1 over x2 minus x1, which is 4 minus 2. 6 minus 1 is 5. 4 minus 2 is 2. Now this is a fraction in simplest form, right? 5 over 2. So we're just going to leave it like that. Our slope is 5 over 2. We're done with that. So now we're going to plug it into our equation. Y minus y1, which is 1, equals our slope, 5 over 2 times x minus x1, which is 2. And we can leave it like that. Perfect. Done. This is point slope form. Okay, one more scenario of a line. Let's use a different color. The fourth scenario that you're going to have to write a linear equation from is given a table. Can you see that? Okay. Given a table, we're still going to end up having to use, should I use a different color? Point slope form. We're still going to use point slope form because you guys know how to make tables. Do you remember what they look like? Where we're going to write x and y like this, and then they're going to give you some x's and y's. You guys are familiar with tables. Basically what a table is for you guys is a series of points on your graph, right? Remember, you know how to already turn a table into ordered pairs. Like this is -3, 9, 0, 3, 2, -1, and 3, -3. Just like that. So basically, you're just going to transfer your table into ordered pairs. And then you're going to do the same thing that we did with this one with our point slope form by choosing 2 points from your table. It doesn't matter which 2 points that you choose as long as you put it in your equation correctly. I'm going to choose the 2 smallest ones because that's going to make our math a little bit easier. But you can choose any 2 that you want to choose. So I'm going to label these x1, y1, x2, y2, just like we've been doing. I'm going to plug it into our slope formula. y2 minus y1, -1 minus 3, over x2 minus x1, which is 2, minus 0. All right, so that's going to give us -1 minus 3 equals -4, and 2 minus 0 equals 2. Now that's not in simplest form. -4 over 2 is going to be -2. Because 4 divided by 2 is 2. And a negative and a positive give us a negative. All right, so our slope now is -2. And we're going to plug it into our point slope form just like we did in the last step. So in this instance, we're going to have y minus y1, which is 3, equals -2 times x minus x1, which is 0. We can leave it like that if you want to, or we can simplify it because x minus 0 will just give us x. So this could actually be written as y minus 3 equals 2 times x. And then you're done. Pretty straightforward. You should already know how to do this part. And it's just a matter of combining this with your point slope form that we learned a second ago.